Kids, up the apples and pears, and I'll tell you a bedtime story.
Okay.
Yes.
You're already in bed, good. Okay, now we're all comfortable. Shall we begin? Okay. What about the Diddy Men? All right. Once upon a time, there was a little boy and a little girl who lived in a little cottage in the woods. They lived so far away that their family would have to walk 5 miles just to get to the closest village. Although it was far away, the little girl loved to visit the villages so she could look at all the rich people riding carriages and dressing nice. She wished their family had money and a carriage of their own. One day, the children's mother tells them that their father is sick and she must wait for the doctor, so they will have to travel to school by themselves today. Their mother packs their lunches and sends them off to school, with a warning never to stray from the pathway. And off they went. On their way to school, the little boy saw a rabbit and decided to chase it into the forest. After her brother disappeared amongst the trees, the little girl didn't know what to do, so she ran after him, yelling to him, "Please stop, come back." But her brother didn't really want to go to school, so he ignored her and kept running. She was running after him when suddenly she fell down a dark hole she hadn't seen, twisting her ankle. She couldn't see anything, so she cried out for her brother over and over and over again until finally he found her. There was no way to get her out, so he told her to wait while he ran back home to get their mother. She waited and waited and waited. Then, from along the tunnel, she could see a flicker of light. As the light began to grow, she started to hear a noise in the distance. The lights grew bigger and closer, and the noises she heard turned into voices. As the lights grew bigger, she could make out little men amongst the bright light. They were singing a song that went a little like this. We are the Diddy Men.
The TheDiddymen. The TheDiddymen. We are the TheDiddymen. TheDiddymen.
I see we all remember the song. Anyway, the lights got so bright that she could hardly see. And that's when the little men noticed her. They stopped and stared at her. "Where did you come from?" one said to her. Another shouted, "The wicked witch sent you, hasn't she, hasn't she?" The little girl tried to explain what had happened to her, but they insisted the wicked witch had sent her. Then the leader of the Diddy Men came forward and said, "I believe you, and if you promise to tell nobody about us or where we live for 7 years, I will get you out." After getting her out of the hole, the leader told her if she kept her word and told nobody about them, she could come back in 7 years and he would grant her 3 wishes. Someone sleepy? Anyway, a little while later her parents found her on the path. She wouldn't tell them how she had gotten out of the hole. They didn't push her as they were just glad she was safe and took her home. The Diddy Men returned back to the Jam Buddy mines. But they still thought the wicked witch had sent her. The little girl's family questioned her for years about what happened to her that day, but she refused to say anything. 1 year went past, and she didn't tell anyone about it. 3 years went by, and she never told a soul. 5 years passed, but still she didn't breathe a word of it, not even to a sausage. 7 years went by, and by now she had grown into a young lady. So she decided to go back and revisit the Diddy Men to claim her 3 wishes. The girl found the hole she fell down and climbed down into it. She couldn't see anything down there, so she sat down and waited. And waited. And waited. And then she saw the lights in the distance once again. Then she heard the noises, and she became very excited. Finally, They had come, and as the lights grew larger and the singing could be heard, guess what they were singing?
We are the Diddymen, the Diddymen, the Diddymen. We are the Diddymen, Diddymen.
Exactly. When they were close enough and saw her, they didn't recognize her at all. She had grown so big these last 7 years. They accused her again like the last time. The wicked witch has sent you. The wicked witch has sent you. Hasn't she? Hasn't she? So the girl explained who she was, and told them that she had told nobody anything about them all this time, and now she has returned after 7 years, to ask for her wishes. They still thought the wicked witch had sent her, but then the leader came forward, and because she hadn't told anybody about them, he granted her 3 wishes. What would you like for your first wish? Said the leader. I wish for a nice big house on a hill, said the girl. Wish granted, said the leader of the TheDiddymen, and now for your second wish. I wish for a lot of money, so my family doesn't need to be worrying about bills anymore. Wish granted. Last of all, your third and final wish. I wish for a handsome prince, riding a white horse, to whisk me away. Now, all your wishes have been granted, said the leader of the TheDiddymen. Please return to your home and see for yourself. And keep that promise you made, okay? So she agreed, and then went home. When she got there, she found her house had been transformed into a mansion on a hill, where her parents were waiting for her. They were dressed all nice but didn't have any idea what had happened. All her bills were paid, but there was no sign of a prince, so she went outside to look. That's when she saw the prince. He came riding out of the stables, on a brilliantly white steed, golden hair flowing in the wind. He whisked her up onto the back of his horse and galloped away into the sunset. And they lived happily ever after. The end. Is everybody asleep? Good night, kids. Don't let the bed bugs bite. If they do, bite them back.